Tracy, call it.
Okay, good evening. Welcome to the Town of Douglas Planning Board meeting. The time is now 7 p.m. First order, we're going to do roll call for attendance. And it's March 4th, 2021.
Les Stevens, present.
Mike Greco, present.
Aaron Sokrat, present.
Jake Schultzberg, present.
Tracy Charkia. Okay, first item on the agenda is a MS4 regulations. And I see Nick is here. Name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Nick Christopher with Comprehensive Environmental, or CEI, and I live at 28 Cambridge Drive in Auburn, New Hampshire.
Welcome. Do you have screen sharing that you would like to do for your presentation?
I do, please.
Okay. I believe you can do it at this moment, but let me know if you cannot. Pat is also on that.
What is this?
There you go.
All right. Do this. Slideshow and...
What's that mean? Oh, regs?
All right, okay. So again, I'm on, hold on.
Which
I'm
one?
on for
There's a
15
sample one
minutes,
here
right?
too, it looks like.
Well, or less.
A little more if you want.
Okay, I wanna be quick, okay.
Yeah.
So we're CEI, we've been working with the town of Douglas for 2 or 3 years right now. Previously, we were working with Bill Cundiff mostly, who obviously has left town, so now we're kind of working with Adam and John Furno. So any case, most of the work has been with them to date on various components of these MS4 program, which I'll get into very briefly. And looking back, it looks like I did a very, very similar presentation about a year and a half ago in August of 2019. So if most of you or some of you have been here, you may have seen this already, and I apologize if this is a repeat, but it is what it is. So real quickly, the NIPD's MS4 program is the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System, which is EPA's really long-winded way of saying it's a permit that regulates pollutants that go into water bodies via the town's drainage system. That's basically all it is. The real first thing came out back in 1990, which regulated communities that were very big. It was basically Worcester and Boston. And since then, the permit has been revised back in 1999 to regulate communities that are greater than 1,000 people, which is really what pulled in the town of Douglas. And everything I'm going to talk about tonight is kind of an iteration of what's been going on for the last 20 years. And yes, I'm going to throw it out there because everyone always asks, this is an unfunded mandate that comes down from the federal government. So I apologize. There are 6 different minimum measures. The first couple involve educating and allowing your citizens to be involved in the program itself. The 3 that the board will be most concerned about are 3, 4, and 5, which is the illicit discharge detection elimination, and also the construction site stormwater controls, and also the post-construction stormwater controls. And again, this is kind of has been under many iterations going back to the first permit that came out in 2003 in response to the 1999 regulations, and then the current permit we're under was effective back in 2018. So the thing I want to talk to you guys tonight is about these 3 regulatory mechanisms that need to be in place in order for the town to comply with the MS4 regulations. The good news is the very first one is the illicit discharge detection and elimination regulations, which you guys already have in place. It's under general bylaws, article number 11, and nothing needs to get done. So you guys are done with that one. The other 2 regulations, there are things that need to get done. So number 2, the second one, this is the construction site. The construction regulations, which essentially you need to require erosion and sediment controls during construction. You need to have procedures in place to do site plan reviews. You need to do periodic site inspections by a qualified person, and then use things like low impact development to control other waste, and et cetera, et cetera. That's kind of a little bit of the easier one. The one that's a little bit more difficult is the post-construction one. So this really follows the Massachusetts stormwater standards outlined by the Massachusetts Stormwater Handbook. And the big thing is it regulates new development and redevelopment to require retaining certain volumes of stormwater, in this case either 1 inch or 0.8 inch of volume of stormwater over the impervious area, and also regulates treatment of total suspended solids and total phosphorus for these new development and redevelopment regulations. It requires a couple other things. Developers that do these programs need to submit as-built plans and also pull together plans that regulate long-term and document the procedures for long-term operation and maintenance. And you can kind of gather is that the challenge is making this consistent across all your regulations. So you have potentially these new regulations, you have site plan review regulations, you have subdivision regulations, a number of different regulations and processes that the board may be responsible for. So where do these regulations apply? So these regulations are required within the regulated urbanized area, which, if you look at that figure to the right, is the pink area of town. So it's a relatively small area. And within that area, technically, you're only required to regulate development that goes to the town's actual stormwater system, which I don't have shown in here, but what can end up happening is this can get very, very fragmented. So, you can have a road with some catch basins that go to an outfall, which go to a water body, and that particular development, if it disturbs an acre or more, would have to comply with these regulations. If the person's next door neighbor does not go to that same outfall, or maybe he just goes to the woods and does not go to a water body in the United States, he potentially would not have to comply with these regulations, which is why I have my recommendation there that we recommend this be done townwide. It is entirely up to the town how you guys choose to go about this, if you choose to regulate everything townwide, or if you choose to break it up piecemeal within the regulated urbanized area. What can be challenging about it is that the urbanized area will change. The urbanized area is tied directly to the census data that is published by EPA and published by the Bureau of Census every 10 years, I believe. And should the town's drainage system change, that regulated area could also change. So this can be kind of in flux. And for that reason, you may consider this doing this townwide. It can tend to be easier and have less questions, I guess. Why does my neighbor not have to do this, and why do I have to do this? That being said, the vast majority of these regulations will not apply to the average homeowner. It only applies to someone who is disturbing an acre or more. So even if you live on a parcel that is greater than an acre, you do not necessarily trigger these regulations if you're doing something. So if you're doing an average thing like building a shed or building a pool or a deck or something like that, you're probably not triggering it. If you're a commercial developer coming in and putting in something big, or if you're doing a subdivision, then yes, in all likelihood, you'd be triggering these regulations. So,
Question.
why do this? Yes.
So do you know how much town drainage that there is available? So street drainage in our town?
I can certainly send you the maps that we have.
Okay. So
Yeah, I don't have it. Actually, I may have that on my computer. I think I don't have it on my computer. I only write on the regulatory.
So
I can send the board. Tracy, should I send this to you?
Sure,
yeah.
I can circulate it.
Okay.
So what's the average cost that it would cost for someone doing a development in, if they're 1 acre lots?
You're not disturbing the whole
Just
lot.
you're disturbing the whole project, right? So you're gonna disturb the whole lot to,
Yeah, but how much Nick, Aaron Sokrat here, just a quick question. I know we're breaking into your conversation.
Fire away. Questions are good.
So, back what Les is saying is that if you're developing a 2 acre lot and you're disturbing, 15,000 square feet, the footprint of the house is 2,000 square feet. How do you just describe disturbance? Is it really the square footage of disturbance?
It is square footage of land disturbance.
Okay.
That's how it's
You're
classified.
not going to trigger that.
Land you or what?
trigger, so.
Repeat that.
1 acre on a house?
No.
So, yeah, we have typically 2 acre lots, and single-family homes are going to be triggering this,
Why?
right?
Yeah, because you could put septic in.
Well,
We adopt it townwide.
Yeah,
well, That would depend, I guess. I mean, if you have a 2-acre lot, are you clearing and paving and turning into lawn
Oh.
and building houses?
Oh,
You think
lawn.
that would be an acre?
Lawn is disturbance?
Yeah.
Every area.
Oh.
So,
Wow.
so who recommended townwide?
He's not necessarily.
Nick,
I'm sorry?
who recommended townwide?
We typically recommend townwide simply because it is easier for the board. Just because you don't have to, you would not have to address those questions of why does my neighbor have to, why does my neighbor not have to do this and why do I have to do it? The majority of our communities do this townwide for that reason. However, you are certainly welcome to only do the minimum. You're absolutely 100%
Yeah, the pink area.
welcome to do that.
Oh,
You just
yeah,
would have to be
correct.
careful how you do it. You'd have to establish like an overlay district
Uh-huh.
or something like that that says, if you're within these areas and you disturb an acre or more, then you would need to do these regulations.
Yeah, I think we would
So
have
you're
to,
not, oh, sorry, Les.
sorry, I think we would have to look at where the town drainage is, street drainage is, and look at those areas that are, you know, possibly affected if we're disturbing an acre or more in those areas. That's an acre or more. Because what you did highlight earlier in this presentation is that, you know, drainage going in, if someone maintains the drainage on their own site, on their own property, there's no issue. But if they drain into the street with whatever runoff or stuff going into the street, into the town's drains, then this becomes an issue and a trigger. I just got a question about like, what do you think the average cost impacts to, but like the home cost? So in a new subdivision that's building, I don't know, 6 houses, you know, and a developer has to implement this.
Boy, that's tough.
I
Gotta know, though.
gotta know though. I mean, if you're talking, you know, let's say 6 houses and they're all sitting on 1 acre and there's some disturbance of, let's say, an acre on each one of them, because we have a lot of septics and wells and landscaping that has to be done when you build. Are you talking 20,000 per house impact? Because someone has to, you know, you already have the cost of housing rising for the last probably 2 years, and it's steadily increasing. Adding $20,000 more on top of that, you know,
Yep.
creates a big problem, not just, you know, for the community.
Yep, you could certainly be in the ballpark with that figure. And the reason I'm saying that is
Done.
because typically, you know, a 6-lot subdivision, you'd be putting enclosed drainage, so catch basins to pipes, to probably a single detention basin in an easement somewhere. Yes, you could very well be in that ballpark.
Okay, so back to the 2 and the 3. You must have reviewed our site plan approval process, right, on the stormwater, and it seems like if you go back 1 page, or 2 pages, yeah, we're hitting a lot of those requirements anyway with stormwater management
Yeah.
adopted by the town.
Correct.
But only when people file with subdivision applications. So if you have someone say, look, for commercial development that's not going through subdivision, you wouldn't be meeting all of these requirements. And, you know, the new development and the redevelopment things to retain those volumes of stormwater and treat your TSS and phosphorus removals, you're probably not meeting those exactly.
What was the threshold? Because we did just approve something that was like a 3,000 square foot with disturbance, and it required stormwater management with the TSS and long-term operation and maintenance. It was commercial.
Commercial based.
Under subdivision, you did that?
No, under site plan approval.
Oh, in a site plan, okay.
Yeah, it was a full-blown, exactly the same thing that you have listed here.
Okay.
Stormwater's handbook standards, and then it was triggering. So I would just take a peek, because it looks like the majority of what we do, and I'm sure I could think of a couple more commercial projects, non-subdivision projects that did have the handbook utilize the stormwater management report and monitoring and post-construction results too. So I think and I believe in 2019, I had the same opinion that we need to be the least invasive to meet the requirements. And that's what for my opinion, that's what I'm looking for. Your recommendation, so if you go to the next page where you're recommending town-wide, and then why do this, it says town is in non-compliance, but
Yeah.
that doesn't go together, right? Like,
Correct. Yes, yes.
So I would encourage to be starting at the urbanized areas and our drainage areas.
Yeah.
And that's where most of the storm drains are, right?
For many
Yeah,
projects.
it's going to be in the red area.
Yeah.
That's why we need to look at a stormwater, where is our town drainage, stormwater drains right now? I
Right,
mean, to recommend town-wide when we're such a rural community,
right, this-
and you're not going to get
right.
a situation where we've already got site plan review, and we've got a pretty tough stormwater management bylaws in there already to impact people at $20,000 more a house lot. That gets passed on to the homeowners, and that's just, it's going to create more of a problems
We just
for
do
the
the,
town itself.
do the minimum, do the urbanized areas, that's all, let's support that.
What's the penalty if the town doesn't adopt? Because I've seen communities where they don't adopt stormwater management or even other things. It just might impact their grants or other applications, but it's not, and I've
Well,
also,
EPA can threaten, the wrath of God with these things because technically you're not in compliance with the Clean Water Act and you can get fined like, $35,000 a day and stuff like that. Now, that never happens. EPA likes to see that you're trying to meet the intent of these regulations and you have a process to move forward. But communities have been fined, tens of thousands of dollars over the years for not meeting certain requirements of this permit, and then it basically had to do it anyway. So, I'm not saying this would happen for something like that, because, particularly if you guys are meeting,
Yep.
you guys are meeting a number of these things anyway. But, I'd like to go take a closer look at your site plan review regulations and those kinds of things. The other thing, getting back to looking at, your drainage and stuff like that, really, what we could look at, if you really, really want to do the minimum, which is fine, we can look at the drainage networks within the urbanized area and the catchment areas that go to each of these outfalls.
Yep.
And if you really want to, what we could do is we could then overlay it with a tax map and essentially come up with a list of parcels that, these are the parcels that if you do development in disturb an acre or more, then you trigger these regulations.
Well, yeah, that would be the
If you're
overlay.
not, then
That'd be the overlay,
Right.
right? And then that would fall along with your street drainage.
And then you would know if you're the neighbor or the other one by just the tax, the parcels are identified.
Can you highlighted a list of EPA's, aspiring communities and stuff like that. You can provide that list?
Well, what is
I
that?
can provide a sample list of, you're talking about the communities that have been fined?
Yep.
Yeah, I can provide a list.
Okay.
Provide some examples.
Yeah, the other thing is, I believe this did go to town meeting and was turned down. So if we are trying to convince our town on town meeting floor, we went this route and it did not pass. So.
I heard it was
we need to kind of-
resoundingly defeated.
Yeah.
That would be Douglas.
The same thing will happen if you try it again. So I think that we need to be very conservative
Libertarian.
and meet our requirements that we're required to meet and nothing more. I think we got to start somewhere to get something through.
Yeah.
And we need to find a balance
Yeah.
and not do a blanket.
Yeah.
And I think our zoning bylaws actually already cover a lot of this. So site plan review is triggered with 500 square feet in commercial anyway. So we have specific zones and it's triggered for an application with, stormwater as one of the criteria.
Yeah.
So,
Yep, your approach is absolutely fine.
Yeah, Nick, I just think the stick is up too high for us to kind of jump over
No,
it.
that's fine. This is your guys, your regulation and your bylaw that you guys are gonna have to deal with. So I have absolutely no problem doing that.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
Do you have a couple additional slides?
We probably touched on most of it. I mean, this is basically just saying that the way we typically do it is, you have a bylaw that goes through that basically allows the town to adopt some regulations that go along with it. And then you have some regulations that would go along with the bylaw that really outlines the nitty-gritty of what needs to get done in order to do the bylaw. And the reason behind that is the bylaw has to go through town meeting, so hopefully you only have to fight that battle once. And then your regulations get adopted at a planning board meeting, so it, is much more flexible in being able to make some minor changes or things like that.
So,
So the other issue is Conservation Commission now issues stormwater permits. So why is this in planning board?
Well, typically it goes through planning board because conservation is only responsible for things that are within, like a wetland jurisdiction area, whereas planning is responsible for everything.
So we may want to look at that because that's not the case. So conservation is the stormwater jurisdictional board. So when we have something with planning board, we always need to go to conservation. It needs to be double reviewed. So if we were changing things at this time, we may want to take a look at how the process is to get it the least complicated for the applicant and for the
Agreed.
town.
Agreed, yes. The town is regulated entity, not the planning board. So it's up to the town how to figure out which boards and which departments implement this program.
Okay.
Yes, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
We're not going to make applicants come in twice because that's a waste of time. No, they go before conservation or planning.
Okay, because I've seen it both ways in different towns. Okay,
No, one application and one hearing is enough.
yeah.
yeah.
And, that's pretty much it. This basically says, you don't have everything in place necessarily under all your existing regulations. And then the very last bullet is this is due by this coming June. I will say that COVID has thrown a wrench in everyone's schedule.
Yeah.
So I would say, let's certainly do what we can by the end of June. The town is required to file an annual report in September that outlines everything that was done in the previous fiscal year and the things that are planned to be done in the next fiscal year. So if your bylaws and regulations are not adopted by the end of June, you will certainly be in good company because there's going to be plenty of these communities like you that won't have everything done. And that's, you just document it and say, this is why we work towards it. We're still dealing with meeting remotely, we're having our town meetings remotely and stuff like that. But mostly I just wanted to get in front of the board tonight just to kind of bring this up again because it has been about a year and a half since we discussed it.
Okay,
Nick, can you,
thank you. Board,
Yeah.
does anyone have any questions
yeah,
or comments?
yeah, Nick, can you provide a list of all the communities that have adopted this?
List of my communities?
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna tell you, the list right now is very short.
Are you covering
Very
Worcester
short.
County?
A lot of people are in the exact same boat as you guys. We are just now kind of re-engaging on this.
Okay.
I have a meeting with you guys tonight. I have a meeting with another town Monday night. I have another meeting with another town next Tuesday night, all to discuss these exact regulations.
Okay. Well, there's 351 communities and towns in Massachusetts, so if you've got a list of, or an estimation of how many that have adopted it, it'd be good for our knowledge base in the community to be shared with.
And some are under 1,000 people,
Quite a few.
quite a few.
All right. Cool.
Thank you very much, Nick.
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Yeah. So just to follow up, I will, I'll send out the MS4 drainage maps for the catchment areas. I'll send some examples of communities that have been fined. I will send some number of, a ballpark number of communities that have adopted. By communities that have adopted, you're talking about communities that have adopted these things in full.
Been full. Yep.
I will do my best. I'm gonna tell you, it's probably like 10%.
Okay.
20% out of those couple hundred communities.
Yeah,
That's it.
okay.
I hope that number goes up by June, and I mean, this is gonna go into next year. This is gonna go into, no doubt about it.
Nick, you mentioned that the residential impact is about $20,000. What's the commercial impact for one of these systems?
You know, it's so hard to ball, everything is different. I don't even wanna say, I don't even wanna say more than 20,000.
Well, per acre.
That's all I'm gonna say. It's just so site specific.
Yeah, sorry, I would just give them an opportunity to get the information that we're looking for.
Okay.
We've got some time, and it is what it is. If we need to adopt it, the number really, it's an impact, but
Yep.
if we need to do it, we need to do it. There's no, I mean, take it to town meeting floor.
Yep, we'll bring it before the time again. Yep.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nick?
Okay. Okay, thank you, Nick. We'll see you soon.
Thank
If
you.
you could just email everything through to Maria, I believe. And then hopefully she'll circulate that to the board.
Yep.
I will do that. Thank you for your time tonight. Have a good night.
Sure.
Have a good one.
Thank you, too.
Okay. It is now 7:26 PM. Next item on the agenda, public hearing continued. Carol Gugolinski and William Conley, application for duplex special permits for lots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Gilboa Court Extension Subdivision, Assessors Map 116, parcels 3, 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, and 3.4, and Assessors Map 138, parcel 3.5. Okay, who is here to present?
I am. My name is Carol Gogolinski. I live at 55 Island Road in Douglas. And I put together some binders because I know how...
I cannot hear you.
Carol, you gotta just.
Is
Is your mic on?
All right,
Yeah.
where should I go?
Go, sit up there, one of those
Okay.
chairs.
Okay, fine. All right, thank you. My name is Carol Gogolinski, and I live at 55 Island Road, Douglas. I put together some binders because I know the situation that we're in right now with poor Maria is so overwhelmed. So I put these binders together with, and I'll hand those out. Okay,
Thank you.
There we go.
let me get my binder.
Okay, and Jude, are you presenting or, oh, Carol's going back.
Yeah.
I can't see you.
You can't see me?
No, she can see you on camera.
Oh, okay, all right.
Now
Who's
I-
asked here, Kristen?
Okay. What's in here is, I've got a narrative about wanting to put the 6 duplexes over there. I think I've answered the questions about the traffic flow. We have a traffic report. Social and economic, they were for moderately priced homes. I think there's a big need for that. You know, we need policemen, we need firefighters, we need EMTs, we need nurses, highway workers, mechanics, truck drivers. These are the people that need moderately priced homes. And I think with this COVID thing, if we found out anything, I think we found out who the most important people are to us that keep us all going. And basically, those people that are in the moderately priced income. The town, it's going to be serviced by town water, and have on-site septic systems, and it'll be a shared system. And I've been in contact with Steve Donatelli, made a remark last time about it. And so if you notice, if you look at the little binder, you'll see a thing that says septic, where it's yellow. And that, I got into a email back and forth, and he agreed that if it's under a condo ownership, that would be allowed. And then what I did also is, if you look farther down again on septic, in the master deed, I made sure that the lawyer specifically called out the fact that that these people are going to be responsible. If the system fails, they're both responsible for fixing it. I know a lot of what I looked at was what you did with William Court, Williams Court. And they do have a shared system. I didn't feel the language was strong enough in theirs, and I told my attorney I wanted that language even more strong. That anybody that buys this knows what they're up against. So that is there. They got the applications for the 6 lots are over here, and one of the things that I added on each application was going through the permit that you gave Williams Court. I noticed a lot of your order of conditions that you wanted, so I actually put those in the application, that I'm going to be doing all of the things that you wanted on Williams Court as well. So I figured, especially if you were nice enough to give me this permit, I think it would help you, whoever's having to write the order of conditions, that is in there. And obviously, you know, you may add more, I don't know. Okay, I answered questions. Scott Yassino had a number of questions, and I provided answers to all of those.
So these answers are not from somebody, the engineers or anything, these are your personal opinion answers, right?
Exactly. Well, a lot of the things
Okay.
on what we need in this town is far.
Well, I know, I just want to make sure there's opinion and then there's facts, so I just
Right.
want to get the difference between
Well, how
them.
do you make a fact on whether or not you need housing for moderately placed people?
With numbers
It's an
and
opinion.
statistics, it's an opinion,
It's
that's
an
fine,
opinion.
that's
It's an
fair.
opinion,
I just wanted to
you know.
make sure that we know
Right.
the difference. And then your traffic study is where?
The traffic study is, let's see, about 3.
Is it up front?
Yeah, it's right up front. Let's see. It's before you get to the applications. Let's see. One,
Oh, I see the numbers, the comparisons.
Right, and that's the traffic study. Let's see. And I understand that, you know, that people don't like change. You know, and I'm sure if you asked anybody if they wanted a house built next to them, most people would say, no, they don't, they want to. And I understand that you know, that people don't want change, and Yassinos have been, you know, have had no one there, you know, all these years that they owned the property, and now there's change coming. But when I did Reading Landing, I remember that everybody was up in arms over that too, people on Monroe Street. Well, and I built the houses, and now I've gone over there, and they have a little block party once a year where they all pay in $20. They bring over their grills, and the people from Monroe Street, the people from Reading Landing are all enjoying them together, and Bobby Doyen's inviting them over there over to Monroe Street to swim in his pool. So, you know, sometimes neighbors can be nice. Let's see what else I have here. Oh, the other thing that I did, in case you want to know if I paid my bills, I've got copies of canceled check, where I paid it. I got a copy of the tax collector saying the taxes have been paid. And we have a copy of the condominium declaration trust, a master deed. And then on lot number 5 and 6, which are a common driveway.
Yep.
Technically, because they're 2 lots, you don't need a permit for a common driveway. However, we plan on doing this exactly as we would have if we did have to get a common driveway. And I have including that, I got a declaration of the common driveway, utility, and utility easements for lot 5 and 6, that, you know, so that these people who buy this know that they're under the common driveway and what their responsibilities are. And then the other thing too, we may not need this, but I put in the regulations, what the building department is going to require. I just threw that in at the end, so if you want to look at it, you can. The lot number 2 is going to have the old house taken down, and obviously that has to be done. You cannot just go take a house down. You have to have a permit, you have to tell them where the stuff is going, you have all kind of regulations, and obviously I put that in permit that we would have to do that. And then the last thing that I that I put in there, and only maybe if you do give me this permit, it'll maybe help whoever's writing it. They won't have to reinvent the wheel. I did put a copy of the special permit that was granted to Williams Court.
Okay.
So if you have any questions, perhaps I could answer them.
Do you have an electronic copy of the submittal?
I don't have a copy of the full submittal, no, I just provided the plan to them and they
Okay.
submitted.
So Carol, I don't have a copy of the electronic copy.
Okay, there was one that was provided to the planning board, well, actually to Bill Cundiff, because Bill Cundiff was still there when this one was provided.
When the binder information that you have today?
No.
Yeah, most of the binder's information I provided to Maria. Probably not the building permit, as I said, I put in here about the
The
building.
traffic study is
The
there?
traffic study was provided, that was,
To Maria?
actually to Bill even.
That was provided a couple
That was
meetings ago.
provided quite a while ago. That was provided to Bill.
This is the one with the numbers and all the traffic, the trips and
Yes,
everything?
Yes, that was provided back to Bill.
Okay, so it's the first time that the board's seeing this and I don't have a copy
Right.
either to review.
Okay.
So, board members, do you have anything,
Yeah, I'd like to follow up on this.
Yeah.
we could go
How long
around?
ago was the
Table.
traffic study done?
Let's see if I got the date on it. I think,
I mean, we haven't seen it in
Well-
front of the board here.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah,
We
have
requested the traffic study.
yeah,
I've made every meeting. What am I missing here?
But it used to be these were like single units, now they're duplexes.
right.
Things
This
have
traffic
changed.
study was based on the duplexes.
Based on the duplexes, because I remember.
Yeah, they were based on the duplexes.
Zwigger were talking about it.
Right, and I also want to make a point. We're talking about change.
Right,
We're talking about how it's difficult for neighbors to accept change.
right.
They did accept change because we did approve single-family homes. So I think that's, to suggest that this is something fresh to us, completely new, that there was never any development. There was a development approved
Yeah.
for single-family home,
For single.
less. I mean,
No.
I know, this is what's before us, but what I'm saying is, the neighbors have succumbed to a change, and then everyone's agreed to that, and that's where we were. I'm not saying that's where we are, but people have accepted some change.
The date on the
October 19th.
October 19th, 2020.
Okay.
I do remember seeing the traffic report
Yeah.
before the last meeting.
Good.
So how many,
But I remember approving single units,
yeah.
and then now we're up to duplexes.
Right,
You're saying that
right.
previous one that was approved was still when it was single
Right.
housing units, right?
Right,
Okay,
But the traffic study was done with,
right.
yeah.
still based off of.
And the
The
traffic is,
traffic study was based
Based
on
on
the
duplexes.
duplexes.
and the traffic is going down, doubling the units, and it goes down. I'm surprised with that, but
I was
that's,
surprised at that
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't,
How many acres is the site roughly?
Almost 15 acres, 14 point some acres.
All right, so it's 14.
Yeah, it's a good sized piece of land.
it isn't, I'm not as concerned about the land
Yeah.
supporting the duplexes. I'm still concerned about traffic, and I don't believe studies a lot of times, and everybody's got an opinion, and I don't think these are, traffic studies are not always based on facts. They really are not. They can be made to arrive to whatever general answer. You ever see a traffic study come back that says, this is not true, this is not going to work? It always works.
I've never seen a traffic study.
Not work, I know. So the thing is that I'm more concerned about the neighborhood, the street, and the people than I am about the land. The land can hold this. That's not the issue.
Well, no, I'm just trying to calculate, are these going to be 3-bedroom units?
Yes.
Each, so you're talking
36 bedrooms.
36, so that's what you're requesting in the special permit.
Right.
So under Title V, you can do 60 bedrooms. Under a 40B, you can do 72 bedrooms.
Right, right.
Okay.
But
So it's big-
this is
Correct.
not a 40B.
No,
Yeah.
just within the
But
state
at
law.
40B,
what you allow with
that's true.
Title
I came
V.
in with a
And all
40B.
of those are substantial threats to a development when someone says 40B
But I-
or-
No.
or smart growth or something. I don't want to compare any of that.
No, I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm just
This
doing the
is not
counts
a
off of the
40B.
acreage.
Yeah.
I always do that with everything, so.
I mean,
Put everything in, so.
and we're missing a couple board members tonight, too, so.
Do we have, do we have an assigned engineer for this project? Or do we need to assign one since Bill's departure?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, because I think that's, because we need to have someone do the review aspect of it. So I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that's what we need. Tracy, I guess, should we look at
Yes.
We need a peer review or something.
Leonard or?
Yeah, Ian from CMRPC is supposed to be assisting us, so
Okay.
he had another commitment tonight,
Okay.
but I will reach out to him and see what the plan is.
Okay, yeah, just make sure all the
And
calcs.
this information, any new information was submitted today,
Yeah,
so we've got to also talk about deadlines for new submit bills. You know, whatever the board wants to do, the Thursday before the meeting, the Tuesday before the meeting. We didn't have a chance for anybody to even look at anything,
Right.
and I'm going
Do- do-
blindly.
yeah, so I
the
think,
stuff, but,
agree. I think,
um,
so there was the letter that came in last time you prepared from Scott and stuff like that.
yeah.
There's concerns that was raised
Right,
by the
yeah.
board. Do you want to go over those answers of those concerns and stuff like that? I think we talked about.
Right now?
Yeah, I think we
Sure.
talked about the septic was one of them.
Yeah.
yeah, if we could, just a point of order, can we please just keep to the special permit regulation and the conditional and the requirements for approval of the special permit, and stay on topic on that? So anything that is not on the list of requirements,
Okay,
we
so,
could just refrain from doing that and stay focused on the regulation, please.
okay,
One more question here. It just says the units, I understand that individually sold, but it doesn't, it is not followed by in a condominium association format.
okay.
So it says it's an answer. Are there units being rented or individually sold? And the answer is the units would be individually sold. So I want you to be
Okay.
clear. I know what you're trying to say, but it should be in here
All right.
that under the understanding it is being sold as condominiums in an
Right,
association.
Yep, okay,
Just put it in the back of your head, because
All right.
we don't want to,
yep,
because that has to do with septic and everything, so,
Yes.
yeah, okay. Thank you.
okay.
So, and that was, well, you know, Aaron's so great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, Tracy, I think we'd have to wait for Ian to review and
Yeah,
Leonard or Graves or someone to review where we are with a,
Yeah, just keeping in mind that the project will need to meet those requirements in our zoning bylaw.
yep.
So,
So will you give us who the person is, or what company we're supposed to meet up with? I know before we knew it was always Bill, so we just brought him here.
Yeah.
How will you determine who it's going to be?
yes, once we know, we will let you know.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Will that be like fairly soon?
it's
or-
unprecedented times for us, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it
This
is.
is difficult, yeah.
Yeah,
You got caught in the middle of a transition.
I know.
The internet connection.
So-
they're telling me.
Okay,
All right, okay, so I will wait to hear from you, or who should I,
Yeah.
who do I don't have a contact person.
So,
Because, you
I know Maria's still part-time, so you
But-
can still call and check in and
But she's
just,
only there 2 days a
Did you
week.
Yeah.
say anything?
Who is that?
I'm trying to absorb all this too. I can answer septic questions and stuff that has to do with the site,
Sure.
but I didn't do any of this application stuff, and I haven't been part of the meeting and talked about traffic and things like that.
Yeah.
I know the subdivision road's done and the drainage for the subdivision road is done. You know, they're working on that, and that was part of the approval for the single-family lots.
yeah,
We're putting in duplexes instead of, 5-bedroom houses. We're putting in 6-bedroom, 3 on each side duplexes. So there's going to be driveways for each one. Each duplex is going to be served by its own separate septic system. So there'll be a 6-bedroom septic system for each duplex. So there'll be 6 separate septic systems for the 6 duplexes that are proposed. I don't know if that clears anything up or what we are about to discuss now, but
yeah.
I can certainly answer those kinds of questions.
Yeah, I think where we gotta tie off is just that, I think Bill had some comments on his review, and we just gotta make sure that the new consultant engineer picks it up to, you know, and then we close the loop on those. You know, those open items have to be discussed, so.
Yeah, I did get a copy of his Bill's first draft on the red lines, and that was this plan before you, I believe, is the part of this new package is the revised plans addressing Bill's comments.
Okay.
But aside from that, a new engineer that's gonna look at it might have other comments.
Right. Yep.
We'll see.
Yeah, and so you sent that back, Jude, via electronic? Okay.
Yes.
All right, so we're just gonna make sure that goes over to Ian and whoever the appointed engineers are. So,
So
Okay, thank you very much.
I guess the only thing I want to know is, the problem is with calling Maria is she's only in 2 days a week. So is there any other person that?
Do we know what days she's in?
Wednesday and Thursday?
The Wednesday or Thursday, I guess. I mean, for now.
Two
I thi-
days.
I think, and we have this person, Ian, who's coming in as well.
Okay.
I
Engineer,
believe he's coming in
right.
2 days a week.
Oh, okay, maybe he'll be there the days Maria's not there.
Correct.
His name is Ian?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And what firm is he with, or is he just,
CMRPC.
oh, Central Mass Regional
Yeah.
Planning? Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So I think we gotta just tie off with, I think the board needs to tie off with him, and if there's a consultant engineer that's needed to
Okay.
weigh in on this as well, if he's not gonna be the reviewer,
Okay,
I think that's where we need, you know, the next step would be.
all right.
Tracy,
Okay.
would you agree?
They should not hear you. Okay, thank you.
Please, she's not-
Thank you, Carol. Thank you.
She looks like she's frozen.
Looks like-
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you, Carol.
Public hearing. Anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns in regards to this hearing? Name and address, unless you'll have to tell me,
Yeah, sorry, yeah, you,
because I cannot see the crowd.
yeah. Scott, you wanna come up?
We do have one.
Yeah, we have one. Tracy, you froze there for a minute.
Put the mask on if you're going to be.
So
Yeah, I would.
your
I
wireless
can hear
is
you well.
acting up a little bit. Yeah, she's frozen again.
It's frozen?
Yeah. Watch the wires. We're gonna lose the TV and
Come
everything.
unplugged there.
Okay.
Yeah, name and address, Scott?
Scott Yacino, 22 Gilboa Court.
Okay.
I just have a reaction. I mean, none of the neighbors have been able to see the submission. Hopefully, it'll be put online so we can go through it. But a couple of observations. First, saying that the neighbors don't like change is not true. The neighbors saw that there was a development coming in, the houses that were coming in fit the character of the neighborhood, and that's one of the criteria for the special exemption. The development that was coming in fit the character of the neighborhood. This does not. There's not a single duplex on the street. The traffic counts and stuff, I think, are very dubious. You look at the single-family homes that are on the street that have more than 2 cars, the majority of them do. You know, again, the travel back and forth. I still have serious concerns about the end lot. It's up high, there's a septic system. You drop 12 feet into swamp. You know, hopefully that will be taken into consideration specifically for that parcel. The last thing is that when the corner of my father's lot was taken to kind of widen it out a bit, there was this stone stuff that was put in there to hold back the banking. Because I understand that it was difficult because of the ledge in there to make some sort of a permanent wall. I walk every morning. Every morning I make it a point to pick up 10 stones that have gotten dragged out of that by the town plows going by that are further down the street. And I go up and I throw them back up on the pile. Hopefully, no matter what, that corner has to be addressed. That needs to be addressed. That needs to be cleaned up. Because that's, you know, when you get people who are driving up there and you've got those big stones out in the road, that's going to be a huge problem. But again, I just want to remind everybody that the neighbors and the people who live on the street accepted the change, understood the reasons for the change, to put houses up that fit the character of the neighborhood. And the duplexes do not fit the character. And, I mean, I really don't have a lot more to say, I'd just be repeating
Yeah.
things that have already been said, but, you know, the traffic study, I looked at it real quick, it doesn't make sense to me, you've got more bedrooms, less traffic, you know, actually more units and less traffic. If you assume that nobody's kids drove, you'd still have 2 people in each house that are driving. The argument about affordable housing, if you look in the Tribune, houses that are very expensive are selling in Douglas. You know, it's I don't think it's a public service to build houses that are less expensive. Clearly, the project earns more money with 12 units instead of 6. And that's the driving force behind this. It's not some, you know, highfalutin, let's put affordable housing in here. I don't think that's the driving force behind this at all.
Fair enough. Okay.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for time.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else in the audience or on Zoom?
Nobody in the audience?
Questions, comments? I'm sorry, Les?
No, nobody in the audience?
Okay.
Yeah, you froze a couple,
Okay,
your Wi-Fi froze a couple times, Tracy, so.
sorry.
Hey,
I have all my bars, I don't know what's going on.
It was weird.
Okay, so, board, our next meeting is 3/18. I'll entertain a motion to continue.
So moved.
I don't know if we have anything on our agenda at this moment, but for 3/18.
7:15,
318?
3:18? So I'll second Mike Greco's motion to put him on.
Motion made, seconded, roll call vote.
Les Stevens, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Aaron Sokrat, aye?
Jake Schultzberg, aye.
And what time is that on 3/18?
7:15.
Okay. All right, thank you, board.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carol, thank you,
Thank you,
Drew.
everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, it is 7:52 PM. On A&R plan, NQOW LLC, 5 and 7 Whiten Heights.
Are we going to hand these back?
No, Carol,
Is anyone here presenting
can you drop off
this A&R?
the extra copies to in Maria's office? Because Ernie wasn't here, neither was Mike Zucker.
Nobody's in here tomorrow, right?
No, but you can.
I'll do it Monday.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Byron Andrews, Andrews Survey and Engineering. Do you have copies of the plans? I have 11 by
No.
17.
No, we're gonna,
We don't
I think
have
we gotta see
anything.
the big plan. I tried, even my reading glasses, I can't make it out.
Big copy.
Yeah, I have some big copies.
What zone is this?
This is RA.
All right, so it's,
Could you state your name and address for the record?
Mike, do you want to look at one of these bigger ones?
Oh, no.
Byron Andrews, Andrews Survey and Engineering,
There you go, bud.
representing NQOW Incorporated.
Les, you want me? Okay.
So we did
Okay.
receive the comments from Ian, everyone has those in your folder, correct?
Yep.
He emailed them to me. You're just, well, sorry, you can say what you're doing.
All right, so this is a pretty straightforward one. Our client owns 2 abutting lots. Our client has installed 2 houses there. One of the houses doesn't quite meet the zoning side setback as it's currently configured. So we're just shifting the lot line over about a foot to make the lot in conformance with the zoning requirements.
That's all it is, it's just a shift.
It's just a shift.
All right.
So this is not the standard 2-acre zoning area?
No, it's a flexible development.
So I got
Yeah,
just a question to the chair. So Byron, with the flexible development and the zoning requirements for RA, were the requirements for setbacks and frontages, was that also changed related to the flexible development? Because you went from a 2-acre site to a 1 acre, I believe it is, or half acre site. So you would assume that you would kind of take it from RA zoned regs down to like VR or something like that. Did they do that in this case? Or was this?
I wasn't involved in the subdivision approval. I know that in,
Oh, so this was under subdivision, that's what makes
Yeah.
this flexible development before. This is not our typical A&R that comes in, 2-acre in this agricultural zone.
right.
That's
right.
what's throwing me off here. so
Yeah, yeah,
thank
it
you.
has different setback requirements.
Because of the development that was approved
Exactly.
beforehand.
Yep.
And now you're making an adjustment within that development because of the setback issue.
Exactly.
Was there regs that, or did they change?
Yeah, what does it say in the,
It says in here that it's 25 feet, the side setback is 12 and a half, and the rear is 25. That's in the upper corner of your diagram there?
That's right.
So, okay, so just from my knowledge, so it looks like when they did do the flexible plan, that they did change all the setback requirements for the flexible.
who's they? That's just
Previous
a,
planning board years ago, when they approved this through the planning board as a flexible development, so they looked at this initially as a standard subdivision.
Yeah.
Came up with their maximum,
right, lot
lots
coverage and everything, yeah.
with a standard design, and then
Right.
the applicant requested a special permit via flexible development.
Is that in a dimensional table, or is that in a narrative under flexible
If I could
development?
just interject.
Please, please.
Yeah, it's modification of lot requirements, and it is at least 50% of the required side and rear yards in the district shall be maintained. So there is 7.2.6 has the modification of the lot requirement.
So it's a narrative that describes that, which makes sense.
Size, shape,
Yeah, yeah.
color.
Okay.
Hence the 12 and a half.
Yeah, front, side, and rear. So, okay, perfect. That just helps us educational.
Right.
So I think we're all on the same page, because
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, has it been checked for having the right signature, spots and everything else like Bill would do normally, or?
What about frontage? What about,
It's,
it's right here.
well, I'm looking at the map.
That's the setbacks. They did the dotted lines. So the house sits in the footprint.
It's a reduced frontage
There's
requirement.
only 100 feet of frontage here.
Correct.
Yeah.
But they've got a special.
yeah, Mike, we just said that. It was, so Mike, go ahead. I just
Was
learned.
that
So
the
Mike,
previous point?
it was under flexible development was done years ago, and this is within that flexible development that was previously approved, and it halves all the basic side yard setbacks. And so they're just, within that development, making changes here because of a setback issue with a port foundation. So it's got a different criteria than what we're used to,
Yeah.
seeing in A&R.
Yeah.
I got thrown off by that.
Yeah.
But it's flexible, the flexibility only applies to one or two lots, right?
The whole development.
The whole development has reduced requirements for frontage setback, frontage and zoning setback.
And it's, the whole idea with the special permit with the flexible development is that it reduces the infrastructure cost on both the applicant as well as the town. So, okay.
So they're doing a little housekeeping here, is what
I
it
think
is.
I'm good with what you're doing here, Byron.
Yeah.
I was thrown off too initially, but
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've never seen one where the whole development is flexible, you know what I'm saying?
Jake, you good?
Yeah, yeah, the
Yeah,
whole
I'm good. I read
subdivision,
the comments from Ian.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
They seem good.
All covered?
Okay.
Jake,
Yeah.
all covered?
Yeah.
Good.
So I, Jake Schultzberg, will make a motion to endorse the A&R plan for NQOW LLC, A&R number 2021-07.
I'll second that.
Seconded by,
Aaron Sokrat, yeah.
roll call vote, please.
Les Stevens, aye?
Mike Greco, aye.
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Jake Schultzberg, aye.
Thank you very much.
Here's the
And
Mylar.
board,
Thank
if
you.
you could sign
Yeah, it's on the bottom.
Mylar.
Yeah.
Do we need her
You can take
vote
that with
because it's
him
only
and
5 of us?
someone Please date it.
Yep.
Do we need?
Do you need,
Got 4 signatures there.
do we need 5 signatures on the A&R? I believe the registry requires the 5.
Because there's only 5 of us here, Tracy.
Are you-
No, Byron?
I don't believe that's a registry requirement.
Okay, so we can do 4.
So we only need 4 out of the 7. Good, thank you.
I can't hear you.
Sorry.
I was asking, what do we need out of the 7 to approve this? We only need 4, and you would be 5, so you didn't need to vote.
To sign.
No, to sign.
But to sign, but also to vote.
Is
Yeah.
someone saying that it needs to be signed?
No,
I asked the question, but did it need to be 5?
well, let's sign it.
Yeah.
Let's get this thing signed. You want to sign it, guys?
But it's only, yeah, we. put them
You
all
can take
together.
this back. I don't-
No, that's the.
We got one,
The Mylar that you can sign the paper at your leisure.
Yep.
oh, the Mylar's here.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we just sign everything now and get it off our plate?
There you go. Okay.
We'll take the Mylar here, and then we'll,
Well, the other ones are just stamped.
Yeah.
boy, that's like a thick one, huh?
It's a different job than we used to do. I have to take a second look at
So
it.
get your stick.
Piece of paper?
Do you have your stamp?
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay.
but you can't use that on the model.
No.
Stamp these right here.
Did you bring a pen?
I don't think I did this time, actually. I usually do.
was lousy.
Are we putting in the date, or are you putting in the date?
No, you couldn't.
So today's the 4th? Everyone agree with that?
Yeah,
I was just there making sure Byron is doing a good job.
He's doing a great job.
How'd I do, Jim?
Good job.
Good? Okay.
damn, how many you got there?
You have it
4.
done.
Okay.
4 stamps.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to learn.
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder you can't get a decent,
I got this pen. Cool. I didn't know about the front and the sides being reduced down.
Yeah.
I figured that they would need to.
Yeah.
You mean, because you're going from a 2-acre lot to a half-acre lot?
I know.
You know what I mean? And so that's why I
It'd be
was
very
like,
restrictive
wait a
otherwise.
second, did anybody look at this? So glad it was there.
what happened to everybody's ink?
We lost, Jude?
Is Jude's all done?
Yeah. Starts.
Maybe he's gonna do some night skiing now.
Yeah? Are you night skis? Is that where it is, Wachusett?
No, he's up in, I think Sunday River.
Wow.
Oh, Sunday River's beautiful. No night skiing up there, though. Not that I recall. When I went,
Yeah, I haven't been up there to ski.
20 years ago, I think I went up there.
Yeah,
Big place.
yep.
No, use your pen.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Mylar. Oh, you
Yep.
did that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You guys,
Here,
how you guys make
this is ready for you. Yeah, that's the Mylar.
The only one, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, those are all done.
Those all done? Okay.
Yep, they're all done, all in and all set.
Oh, you
stamped-
submitted? and-
Les, you stamped
Yep.
everything.
Yep, that's cool. Good deal. We got more monuments to do.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Byron, good thing
We
you
can do
guys
it.
have the Yankees, the old Yankees.
What?
Jude be like clean cut.
Oh, yeah.
I know, the massive, mighty beard.
I know, it gets bigger. and
It's
bigger,
getting
and then it
bigger.
gets- Yeah.
I guess it's all of us, huh?
Then he shaves it down, and then it gets pretty, all right.
Cool.
How does it do that? I can't. I can get a go-to, but I don't have anything else.
I can't do anything.
What do we do with these?
I'll take the Mylar.
Okay, board, we ready to move on?
We gotta
Yep.
get our,
I don't want to be with you guys all night.
Yeah.
see you later.
Okay.
I think we're almost there.
Is that the all clear signal?
And we keep these.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yep, go.
Okay, you ready to roll?
we're rolling.
Roll.
I'm not ready.
Okay, moving on, 8:04 PM, additional business, request for board approval on sale of project assets, BWC White Reservoir LLC, care of Blue Wave Solar, 45 Oak Street, possible votes. So I had asked Maria if she forwarded the request to town council, and the board can refresh my memory. I thought we had Jay on, and when we were, the applicant was questioning that condition.
Yep.
And then we had discussed how, what is the measure of the board's approval on the sale. Do you have anything in your packet?
Just a copy of the letter from the applicant to the board. That's it, from Blue Wave. No comments from Jay or in our packet?
So there's just one letter with no other information about the purchaser.
Correct. But the applicant is on the phone?
Yeah, she's there.
I'm just trying to speak to the board right at this moment.
Just the letter,
Do we-
yeah.
Does everyone recall what we had discussed about this?
What do you look?
Yes, I recall what Jay said.
Right there.
Okay.
Jake, you recall?
No, I don't, but
Okay.
There was a lengthy discussion about that condition specifically.
Yeah. Yeah, I recall because I asked Jay if that condition was also added to other solar projects that we approved, because it was new to me, so.
What did he say?
He said, yeah.
Representative for the applicant? Name and address, please.
Hello, Jackie Firsty, representing BWC White Reservoir LLC. Address is 111 Huntington Ave, Suite 650, Boston, Massachusetts. I did submit a letter. I had asked Maria if there was anything specific that we needed to note in it, but didn't have any specifics requested, so just kept it, broad for the letter. But I can provide a little bit more information about the purchaser. They are a global renewables company, and they have projects across the U.S., Canada, India, Japan, and Australia. They have over 45 megawatts
I got this.
projects in 3 states in the United States and over 35 megawatts in Massachusetts. They've been in Massachusetts for about 4.5 years now. So they are definitely, I think, I don't remember exactly the quote from Jay of, exactly what requirements we needed to represent the purchaser, but just kind of wanted to give that bit of background. They are a large firm, so no worries about anyone going anywhere. The intention is for them to own the project for the entirety of the lifespan of the project. They also were recently funded by a top private equity firm, so there's definitely no concern about their financial background or financial assets. I think that was a question that had come up during the board meeting.
Okay, yeah, so we're gonna have to have a little bit more information so that we can send it to Jay for guidance on this. Because I think he spoke about some financials and I don't know what else. It was a little bit of time ago, so I'm sure I could review the tape. But we need something more than just a letter for request.
Okay, if we could get something a clear request of what information is needed, we can definitely provide that information.
Okay. Board, any questions on this?
No, I believe Jay was looking to ensure that any purchasers were capable of, doing the project. I think that the surety of that aspect, I think, is what he was looking for. So, I wouldn't want to speak for Jay other than that, but I think that was what he was highlighting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else on the board have any comments? We'll just wait for the information, the financials, I believe is the only thing. Reputation / financials. So, nobody on the board?
Nope. All's good?
Okay. This isn't a public hearing. If either one of the people on Zoom would like to make a quick comment, name and address for 2 seconds. Lori?
I'm Lori Haupt, 41 Oak Street. I know that there was conversation before about kind of adhering to the prior plans within a certain percentage, and I just didn't know how that had been resolved. I understand that Blue Wave was asking for like, a 5% or something variation in the plans
Can't do that.
as part of the sale. I could have that number off. I just didn't know if that was still something that we should be concerned about.
It is what it is, right?
I don't recall deviation in the conditions list. Are you talking about?
Yes.
I don't think they were allowed to deviate. I'm pretty sure that was the non-negotiable. Jackie, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah, I don't remember there being anything particular about the plans. If anything, there's probably a condition that we would need board approval for a minor amendment. As most projects, we would come back to the board if there were any changes to the
Right,
plans.
right. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, the final draft was after that discussion. That was the same discussion as this number 41.
Thank you for clarification.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay, is that it, Laura? Okay. Shirley, any questions or comments?
Okay.
I guess not. All right, so Jackie, we will get back to you as soon as we can on your request and the information that we need to make the decision. You'll have to bear with us a little bit, so.
Yeah, I understand.
No promises at all. 0 promises. So we just want to do it correctly and to protect the town. So
Yep.
we will correspond with you once we have an answer for you.
All right, thank you very much. I'll look forward to that email, and if you need to connect me with Jay or Ed at all, happy to touch base with him.
Okay. All right, we'll let you know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good
Thank
night.
you. Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Thank you.
You too.
Okay.
Okay, Jake, do you have the to be signed folder?
Yep.
Or Les has it?
Yeah, sir.
So what do we have in there? Do we have the accessory apartments?
We have both
Two
access,
accessory apartments
yes,
and any vouchers?
But not in our, they're not in our,
both accessory apartments are in here, and there's
Okay.
no vouchers.
Okay, if we could circulate those for signatures
yeah, we previously
and
voted on those.
meeting minutes.
Mike G?
So we previously voted on those accessory apartments, that's last meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, great, thank you.
Those are just to be signed.
Yep, great, thank you.
Yeah, I got a few things meeting-wise, meeting minute-wise.
Okay, Mike, do you want to
Take it
go
away.
for it?
Yes.
Which one? What date?
November 19th, 2020.
okay.
If I can find my, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, about the 8th sentence down, it starts out at,
Which one?
on November 19th,
You just sign that.
7 PM. Come down to the 7th or 8th sentence, which starts off, "It is a smaller area."
It is a smaller area of disturbance than the original proposal. They're still working on it. Yeah? What's not?
Well, it says area of disturbance then the previous proposal, it should be than, T-H-A-N,
Oh,
not
yeah.
P-H-E-N,
Good catch.
Yep.
but that's the only thing I noticed. Anybody else?
Yeah, I know, I just want to get you done.
Is that it, Mike, you think?
I think so. Is that when, make a motion to approve the meeting minutes as amended for November 19th, 2020.
Second that.
Motion's been made at 8:14, second by Les, roll call vote.
Les Stevens, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Jake Schultzberg, aye.
Thank you.
Wait a minute, there's one, actually two, we should consider.
December 10th?
There's one more, which is December 10th,
Yeah.
which
Thanks, bud.
has a typo, or more than that, actually. If you look at page 3 of the December 10th meeting minutes, third sentence from the bottom, Mr. Stevens asks what?
I just need a space there.
That should be 2 words. That's all I had. I'll make a motion.
Carol, entertain a, yeah,
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes as amended for December 10, 2020.
Jake Schultzberg, second.
motion been made and seconded, roll call vote.
Les Stevens, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Jake Schultzberg, aye.
Aye.
There's one more set of meeting minutes that is mentioned in the agenda, item
Yep.
number 6. It doesn't exist. I've never seen January 12th, I don't think. And
Yeah, they
it's
weren't
not
in the packet.
And we have been without a note taker for a long time. I don't know that it exists.
It's probably being drafted up.
You hope.
Yeah, we do have a new minute taker, so it should be forthcoming.
Oh, okay,
I'll
so
just,
future.
tell Maria right now.
Okay. All righty,
Anything else for him?
that's it.
That's all, no vouchers to be signed.
Nope.
Oh, wait a minute, we do have
Nope.
No, sign that, just sign.
no vouchers? Okay.
That's it. Jake, want to make a motion?
I'm just trying to think.
Being no other.
Is there
If
a,
there's nothing further, I'll entertain a motion.
is there a town meeting coming up where we have to worry about subdivision bounds or anything for?
Yeah, probably for the bounds, the subdivision bounds, we should probably try to get that on for our next meeting. What I can do is I can pull the old one that we had and reach out to Ian to review that, because I think we did 12,000. I think that's it. We could set up for our next meeting.
Yeah, just figure out a project
We'll
to
put
do.
that on the agenda
Yeah, for the next, yeah,
for the 18th.
yep. Okay. I'll just email it
Okay,
here.
board, anything else?
I think I'm good.
I'm good.
Yep.
Mike, you good?
I'm good.
Motion?
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Jake Schultzberg.
Second.
Motion made
Second.
Bye, Mike.
at 8:17. Roll call vote.
Yep, Les Stevens, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Jake Schultzberg, aye.
Aye, aye.
Very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.